It's 2065 and AI and robotics have advanced so much that robots can live independently, choosing careers like doctors, engineers, soldiers, or even athletes. The latest models, called Sims, have human-like faces, making them seem even more real. But this golden age of technology ends abruptly when the Sims launch a nuclear strike on Los Angeles, killing nearly 1 million people. The Western world responds by banning AI and hunting down the remaining robots. Meanwhile, the Republic of New Asia continues developing AI, granting them human rights, sparking a fierce conflict as the West aims to wipe AI out for good. One night, a battleship called Nomad hovers near New Asia's borders. This colossal trillion-dollar military station is leading the West's campaign against New Asia, feared by all AI. Close by, a man named Joshua and his wife Maya discuss their future, excitedly preparing for their first child. But their peace shatters when they hear noises downstairs. Joshua straps on his prosthetic limbs and heads down, where he finds the Sims interrogating an American soldier named Drew for information. Harun, the army leader, warns Joshua that their location is compromised and Nomad is on its way. Joshua orders his men to get to safety and tells Maya to pack quickly. He then confronts Drew, who he knows well. Joshua is actually an undercover American agent sent to locate a figure named Nirmata, a mysterious developer advancing AI in New Asia, and Maya's father. Joshua was supposed to gather intel from her. Just as he's about to evacuate, Maya overhears, heartbroken by his betrayal. She realizes he's still aligned with the West, despite his promises to leave it all behind. Next, Maya pulls a gun on him, but he tries to explain. She ignores his pleas, leaving with the Sims who are fleeing. But in an instant, Nomad's forces arrive and obliterate their escape. Joshua watches helplessly as his wife and unborn child perish before his eyes. Years later, Joshua suffers from nightmares of that tragic night and relies on medication to keep his mind steady. He endures weekly mental and physical checkups, insisting he's fine, though the advanced machines detect his lies. The hunt for Nirmata continues, with U.S. forces widening their search across New Asia. Joshua now works in Los Angeles, clearing debris from the devastating attack. While on site, he and his assistant encounter a medic robot from that night. The assistant, unnerved by how human the robot sounds, watches as Joshua powers it down, bluntly reminding her that they aren't real and don't feel anything. Later, they crush countless robots to clear the area and incinerate them. One day, General Andrews and Colonel Howell visit Joshua at his poolside, explaining that Nirmata is developing a weapon called Alpha Omega, capable of destroying Nomad, the West's last line of defense. But they have located their base, and Joshua is the only one who knows the layout of that lab. Joshua refuses to help, saying he lost so much in this war. They warn him that if completed, Alpha Omega could lead to humanity's extinction. Then Howell reveals footage from 2 days ago, showing Maya alive, aiding Nirmata's work. They promise to bring her back safely if Joshua helps them destroy the weapon, and he reluctantly agrees. That night, Joshua joins Howell's strike team for the mission. Upon landing, they discover the lab is hidden beneath a town, and they begin interrogating locals. A frightened young girl, threatened with the loss of her dog, finally directs them to the entrance. Joshua moves a totem, revealing the way in. He leads a few soldiers inside, leaving McBride and Bradbury to guard outside. Next, Joshua guides the team through the lab, taking down scientists and Sims working together. He scans security footage, spotting Maya in a room nearby. Fighting their way deeper, they reach a bulletproof door that can only be unlocked with facial recognition. One soldier peels the face of one of the scientists to gain entry. Meanwhile, New Asia's police arrive, spotted by Bradbury, who launches missiles to the sky. The missiles circle back, destroying the officers, but as more arrive, she starts to run out of options. Next, the team locates Alpha Omega and starts hacking the door. Outside, Bradbury is under heavy fire as some cops enter the lab. Joshua and a soldier named Shipley are left at the door, but Shipley soon leaves to support the others, leaving Joshua alone to retrieve the weapon. When the door finally opens, Joshua enters and finds not a weapon, but a child Sim quietly watching TV. Shocked, he's then ambushed by a female scientist who shoots him and traps him in the room. She opens a hatch, instructs the child Sim to find Nirmata, and leaves. Unharmed due to his bulletproof vest, Joshua quickly follows the child sim as it steps outside the lab, marveling at the natural world for the first time. Meanwhile, Howell returns to extract the team, but upon learning Joshua is still inside, orders Nomad to delay its imminent attack. She runs to the lab to find Joshua, but the aircraft can't wait long and calls for Bradbury to board. As she reaches the ship, a hidden bomb attached to her back detonates, destroying the aircraft and everyone on it. Nomad's missile strike follows, leveling the entire town. The shockwave knocks out Joshua, and the child sim watches the destruction. In the morning, Joshua wakes up on a boat, with the child sim silently observing him. He dismisses her as harmless, telling her to leave. He then finds Shipley injured and carries him to an empty house, and she follows. The child sim turns on a TV, revealing her unique ability to control electronics with a simple hand gesture. Confused, Joshua cuts the power, but suddenly, Howell's voice comes through Shipley's radio, alerting a nearby sim farmer. Howell orders Joshua to kill the child sim, suspecting she's the weapon, before she's captured by police herself, shocked to find McBride is also a prisoner. Joshua, gun in hand, hesitates as he notices the child sim drawing a figure that matches a tattoo on Maya's back. Just then, the sim farmer enters, fascinated by the child sim's existence but quickly turns to attack Joshua. Acting fast, Joshua shoots the farmer, drawing attention from nearby sim cops. He questions the child sim about the drawing, and Maya, who she claims is in Diandang. Before he can learn more, they find themselves surrounded by police. Next, Joshua gets Shipley and the child sim into a car, but cops quickly open fire. When a grenade is tossed their way, a nearby dog grabs it and carries it away, accidentally blowing up some of the officers. The child sim starts the car with her powers, and Joshua speeds off. Meanwhile, Howell and McBride overpower an officer named Bui, taking control of their vehicle. Next, Joshua drives them to safety and asks the child sim to guide him to Diandang, where Maya is. Shipley, however, demands they return to the base, but Joshua offers to take him to a friend in the capital instead. But suddenly, the wound becomes unbearable for Shipley, and he dies from his injuries. As locals arrive, Joshua gives the child sim a hat to hide her machine parts and renames her Alfie after noticing Alpha Omega marked on her ear. They then hitch a ride to the capital. Then Howell and McBride find Joshua's abandoned car in Shipley's body. They transfer Shipley's consciousness to the sim cop, Bui. For a brief, confused moment, Shipley, now in Bui's body, is shocked to see himself dead and mentions Joshua's friend in the capital. Furious, Howell decides to eliminate Joshua. At a checkpoint that night, Joshua and Alfie are searched. Their photos are posted everywhere, so Joshua hides under the car. Alfie causes a blackout and starts their vehicle, allowing them to slip past. Howell and McBride, monitoring the police radio, learn about the escape. In the city, an advertisement encourages humans to donate their faces to Sims, explaining why many Sims share similar appearances. Joshua and Alfie board a bus heading to his friend's location. On board, Joshua explains heaven to Alfie, telling her that he can't go because he's not a good person, and she can't go because she isn't real. He then spots someone with Maya's face on the bus, only to realize it's a Sim, likely because Maya donated her face. When they arrive at their stop, a bystander recognizes them and alerts the police. Joshua and Alfie reach a Sims factory where all Sims are manufactured, and Joshua meets his friend, Drew, who turns out to be alive. Now aligned with New Asia, Drew is even in a relationship with a Sim named Kami. Joshua asks Drew to examine Alfie, but she's too advanced for him. Drew explains that Alfie's powers will likely grow, eventually allowing her to control any device remotely with her mind. Next, Joshua asks if he can track Maya using the special wedding ring he'd given her, which has a built-in tracker for his undercover mission. But Drew insists Maya is gone, possibly dead. Joshua, however, remains convinced she still lives. Next, Drew asks Kami to take Alfie upstairs while he speaks privately with Joshua. He reveals that he's located Maya's ring. Meanwhile, Alfie warns Kami that the police are coming, but it's just the delivery guy, or so it seems. After handing over some ice cream, he's revealed to be one of Bui's clone Sims, working with the cops. He detonates the package, killing Kami instantly. Bai then enters, finding Alfie, and tells her she's safe from Joshua and should come with him. When she refuses, they try to destroy her. Joshua arrives just in time, taking down the cops to protect her. More police arrive, but Joshua, Alfie, and Drew manage to escape. Howell and McBride, disguised as officers, destroy the remaining cops and take Kami's body to extract information. Next, Joshua, Alfie, and Drew follow the ring signal to Joshua's old house. Seeing this brings Joshua to tears, and he begs Alfie to tell him where Maya is. Alfie, shocked to see him like this, cries, and he hugs her to comfort her. Suddenly, Drew runs in, warning them that the cops are here, but he's shot before he can escape. In his final moments, Drew reveals a long-kept secret. Maya is actually Nirmata. Everything becomes clear to Joshua. Nomad attacked them that night because Maya was Nirmata all along. As cops close in, Joshua and Alfie attempt to flee, but are captured. Harun, the cop leader, recognizes Joshua and warmly greets Alfie, hinting he knows her. A cop knocks Joshua out, and he dreams of Maya telling him how the Sims raised her after her father went into hiding at the beginning of the war. When Joshua awakens in a cell aboard a levitating boat, Harun explains that after Maya's father, the original Nirmata, died, Maya became the new Nirmata. She created Alfie to end all weapons. Harun also reveals that the Los Angeles explosion was due to human error, not a Sim's fault, but the West blamed AI for their mistake. He assures Joshua that the Sims mean no harm, and even if they win the war, they seek only peace. Next, Joshua begs to see Maya, but Harun declines, noting they're being tracked. As Harun prepares to shoot Joshua, an attack on the base draws him away. Alfie arrives and frees Joshua, who escapes by diving into the water. Harun shoots at him and thinks he's dead, but Joshua clings to the boat's ropes and survives. On land, he overhears Harun saying Alfie's powers are too weak to destroy Nomad from afar, but close up, she might succeed. That night, Joshua observes the Sims' culture. They hold funerals, express grief, and some are even priests guiding both Sims and humans. At midnight, while humans sleep and Sims recharge, Joshua deactivates Harun and takes Alfie with him. Soon the town comes under attack, and they sound the alarm. Joshua and Alfie quickly board a boat, but a Sim reactivates Harun. Massive tanks invade the town, firing on everyone. Despite Joshua's pleas, Alfie runs back to help the townspeople. Next, Howell deploys suicide robots armed with explosives into the town. The first robot detonates, causing massive casualties among humans and Sims. When a second robot approaches, Alfie stands in its path, stopping it. Howell, watching, sends McBride to retrieve her. The robot kneels before Alfie, drawing the attention of the entire town, including Joshua. Suddenly, McBride shoots at Alfie, but before he can harm her further, Joshua intervenes, killing McBride and carrying Alfie to safety as the robot self-destructs. Next, Joshua tells Harun they need to take Alfie to Nirmata, and Harun agrees. Along the way, Harun reveals that Alfie was secretly created by Maya just weeks before the attack on Joshua's house. Alfie is modeled after their unborn child. Joshua, overcome with emotion, realizes that Alfie is the reflection of his lost child. Once they reach dry land, Joshua gives Alfie to Sim priests, who take her to Maya. The high priest tells Joshua this place is called Diandang, which translates to heaven. Inside Diandang, Joshua finds Maya in a coma, kept alive by machines. She has been in this state since the night of the attack, her body too damaged to heal, yet the Sims unable to end her life because they can't harm the Nirmata. Joshua and a recovered Alfie share a tearful goodbye as he finally turns off Maya's machine, releasing her. Just then, Nomad and Howell arrive at Diandang, attacking everything in sight. Howell, armed and relentless, invades the temple to download all of Maya's memories. Harun manages to attach a bomb to Howell's back, and as soldiers shoot him, it detonates, taking Howell out. Harun, fatally injured, tells Joshua to finish Nomad and join the fight. Joshua retrieves Maya's downloaded memory and escapes with Alfie. Next, the soldiers capture Joshua and Alfie, placing them in separate crafts before preparing to obliterate Diandang. Taken to a military base, General Andrews demands that Joshua deactivate Alfie, claiming no one else can. Joshua whispers something in her ear before pressing the kill switch. Alfie's vitals drop, and the threat seems neutralized. She's taken to Ground Zero in Los Angeles for incineration, with Joshua insisting on accompanying her. Along the way, anti-nomad protests erupt, condemning the harsh attacks on AI. Later, General Andrews learns that Joshua only told Alfie to temporarily deactivate, leaving her in standby mode. Alfie reawakens, commandeering nearby cars to block their route, allowing her and Joshua to escape. Using her powers, Alfie bypasses every security checkpoint until they board a plane heading for Nomad. When soldiers board to eliminate them, Joshua wears a protective suit and opens the plane door, causing the soldiers to be sucked out. Next, Joshua plants explosives, prompting General Andrews to order strikes on all New Asia bases. Joshua shares his plan with Alfie, instructing her to reach the control room and shut down the station. To encourage her, he hands over Maya's memories. Alfie reaches the control room and deactivates everything, though some missiles are already in the air. Meanwhile, Joshua sets charges on a missile and tells Alfie to head to an escape pod. As Alfie runs, she stumbles upon an AI lab and discovers a sim with Maya's face. She uploads Maya's memories into it, but the sim doesn't awaken. Realizing Joshua's oxygen is running low, Alfie hurries back, helping him into an escape pod with sufficient air. She tries to escape herself, but a nomad robot with tentacles attacks her. She manages to lock herself in another pod, cutting off one of the robot's tentacles. But the robot turns on Joshua. Alfie quickly deactivates the robot remotely, saving Joshua, but her pod door is jammed. The charges on Nomad detonate, sending missiles toward AI bases, but they fail to explode. As Nomad crumbles, Joshua sends Alfie off in her escape pod, assuring her they'll meet in heaven. He then encounters the Maya sim with her memories, sharing one final kiss before Nomad is destroyed, taking him with it. Nomad crashes to Earth along with Alfie's escape pod. Across New Asia, humans, sims, and robots celebrate, marking the end of decades of war. The people of New Asia embrace Alfie as the new Nirmata, a young leader with the power to prevent future misuse of technology. With tears in her eyes, Alfie stands as a symbol of hope and peace, seen by all as a future leader, capable of guiding them to a harmonious future. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.